amazing, actually.
They're really small, I like that thing. Are you live yet? Oh, yeah, you're on.
Hey, cool. No, I don't care. So, is anybody actually in this stream right now?
It says you're off on.
You can see me just fine now.
This is on. I think you just got to start doing
Well, yeah, but if there's nobody here, there's no point. So,
well, it's a test one.
Ian, are you out there? Say hello to the chat room.
It doesn't show up for me.
Hmm?
Will you come in? It won't show up.
Oh. Well.
Because I'm here.
Well, here we are.
Can you refresh that page? No,
Still says offline. You sure are.
But it doesn't show me what you're doing on the screen.
Well, that's because this is the screen happening over here. Alright, well, in case anybody is watching... Oh, hey, there are people here. Welcome in. Say hello in the stream. We're just getting everything set up here. We're virgins, so we're still trying to figure out how all of this works. I did set up a GitHub repo for getting started with a couple of the things that you might need if you're interested in creating this stuff. So, let me post that real quick. And that'll be in the chat. Yeah, so when people show up, just, say something in the room. And I'm here with Jamie, and if you have questions, they'll show up there eventually.
Hi.
Jamie can answer some questions. And otherwise, I'm just going to kind of get started here. So if you go to GitHub and you download the folder that's in there, it's going to be called Twitch001. There's a couple things in there, and one of them is the preview of what we're going to be making today. So this is what it looks like. This is an iPhone 6 display, just to give you an idea of the size of it. And the two programs in there, CyberDuck and Sublime Text, are what we are going to be using to make it. The last thing that's in there is this twitch.001 folder, and this has just kind of some of the files that we'll need to get started. I went and populated a little bit of the content in there, just so we don't have to go from the very, very beginning, and mostly to make sure that you can open all these files and see that everything is connected. So, please, if you are in here, go ahead and say hello in the chat room so that we know we're not talking to nobody. And so Jamie has something to do tonight. And otherwise, I'm going to get started. So the first thing that you're going to do is take the HTML, the CSS, and the JavaScript file right there, going to open them up in Sublime Text. I think I already have it open. I have other stuff open. Alright, so first we're going to look at the HTML. I'm going to set this window up to be about half of the screen. And then the other thing that you're going to want to do is take this widget.html file and open it up in Chrome. And when I say Chrome, I actually mean Chrome. You shouldn't open it up in Safari or anything else, and that I'll go into why we're doing that in just a second. So this is basically what you should have so far. There's not a lot to it. This is just a background so we can see the stuff that we're making. And the next thing that you want to do is open up the web inspector, which I do with the keyboard shortcut Command-Option-I. Maybe. There we go. Okay. And right now mine is set to web emulation mode or device mode, which you can toggle right here with Command-Shift-M. Or you can just click on that little icon right there. It's basically going to do the same thing. I have it set up right now so that the entire background is only the size of the iPhone 6 and 6S wallpaper. If you see the image, then your CSS, which is the design file, is working properly. And if you can see the little console window down here in the lower right-hand corner, sometimes it's hidden. Let me move this window out of the way. Sometimes it's hidden all the way down here at the bottom. If you can resize it though and pull it up, you should be able to see the console tab. And if you see the line JavaScript is working, then it's all connected properly. So then we're going to come back over to the HTML and we're going to get started. And if you've never done any HTML before, HTML describes the structure of a web page. So this first line here just says what kind of document it is. It's an HTML document. And then all HTML has an opening tag and a closing tag right here. So this is an open tag. This is a close tag. And you can tell it's close tag because it has this little / right in front of it. It's always going to have the same name as its opening tag. And so in between the open and close tag right here, first thing that we've got is the head. And the head tag has some other stuff inside it. And this tells your web browser what kind of document what kind of character set we're working with. This is the encoding. This next line, the link, is to the style sheet, and it basically tells the document where to look for the information about the design of the page. And then this last one tells the browser how to render all of the images and text so that we can see the full image zoomed in as soon as you render it. You don't have to pinch to zoom in or hit Command plus or anything like that to zoom out. And that's all there is in the head tag for this. And then you start the body tag. The body tag is where we're going to be doing all of this stuff. And the one line that we have in there, the script tag, is going to be just linking it up to the JavaScript, which is what kind of controls the brains of our clock. And right now, you can see that it says script src, which stands for source, is main.js, which should be the name of the included file right there. And this is all that we have in there right now. I'm just telling it to log to that console window. The JavaScript is working. So what we're going to do is just put some space in the body tag, and then we'll get started. Is anybody in here? Jamie says that there's 3 people in here. I'm not sure if I believe it. You guys are pretty quiet if you are here. So.
There was 5.
Oh, we had 5.
Okay, that's it.
Alright, well, we lost some viewers. It's
Maybe
really
they
sad.
need some music.
Maybe we need some music. Okay. You can put some music on if you want. I don't know how to do that, so if you want to figure it out, you can. Yeah, sure. Okay. So, what's next here? So, at the beginning of the body, we're going to start building out the structure. And the first thing that we want to put in our structure is a division that's going to contain our entire clock. So to do that, we're going to make a new HTML tag. So it's going to be a div for division. And inside the element tag right there, we're going to give it an ID. And that ID is going to be equal to, put this in quotes, wrapper. And then if you make a arrow bracket like that and then a /, it should automatically close out any of the things that need to be closed out. And then I'm going to insert a comment in here and just say that this is the end of the wrapper. And I'm going to highlight it and hit Command and /, and that's automatically going to comment it out. And right now it's pretty obvious, but eventually that'll make sense. Alright, so there's our wrapper. So now basically we have a container that's going to hold all of the stuff in our web page. Now we can start putting stuff in. So what we're going to do is we're just going to make another division tag. This time we're going to give it an ID of hour. And I'm going to close that div. I'm going to do one for the minutes. And we're going to call this one minute. Close that one out. So back. And then we're going to have one division. This division is going to have its own category, and this one we're going to call AM-PM. And that's basically going to be for people who are on 12-hour time, so you can tell which half of the day you were in case it wasn't obvious. Okay, our next division is going to be called div ID equals date. And instead of immediately closing this one out, we're going to give that one some space and then close it out, because we're going to put some subdivisions inside here. And one of the things that we're going to put in the date is the month. Bless you.
Is this like an online YouTube thing? Or?
Yeah, we're doing a Twitch stream right now.
Okay.
If you know anybody who wants to learn how to program clocks, you just tell them to jump right in.
Yeah, I'll tell my friends. Programming clocks.
Alright, and then the second division that we have inside our date is going to be div ID equals day.
Down to to-dos.
down to 2 viewers. Well, damn. And you're one of them.
Maybe yes too.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. Alright, well, thanks for sticking around, 2 viewers. The end of this division
You're welcome.
is gonna be called. Yeah.
Maybe it's the music.
We're gonna end the date here. End of date. So you can see we have to comment the end of these divs because we end up having so many of them, so it's going to keep track of where they start and where they end. The ID tags help us keep track of that. So at the bottom of this, where we got our wrapper, our hour, our minute, the AM PM thing, which is called a meridian, and then the date is its own division. Inside the date, we're going to have the month and then the day, which is the day of the month. The last thing I think that we're going to put in here is the div. Shoot. It's going to be the div for ID equals weekday. And then we'll close that one out. This isn't working. Slash div. There we go. Straighten it out a little bit. And I think that's probably about it for the HTML. Basically, you just need a place for everything to live. And right now, there's nothing in any of this. So if we save this and refresh our page over here, it looks exactly the same. So go ahead and just populate some dummy values in there. I'm going to put zeros in for everything. 0, 0, make it AM. The date doesn't get one, but the month does. It's March. The day is the 31st, and today is Thursday. Okay, so now, if you save this with Command S and refresh the page over here, there you go. You should have all of your values. And it's not super exciting, but it's what we got. And that is going to be about it for that. So now we're going to move on to this style.css page. And while we're here, I'm going to take a second. I'm going to push all of this stuff up to the GitHub page. So if you are just joining us for some reason, it looks like we got one person. You can go to the GitHub page. Jamie, you want to post that link one more time?
Okay.
Cool. Go there, you can download that zip, and you will have the complete HTML for what we've done up to this point so far. So, CSS. CSS describes the style of things. So if HTML describes the structure, like we've got here, and CSS is going to be kind of the design of all of this stuff. And so what I've got in here already, you've got your body, which is pulling from the HTML right here. So it's saying everything in the body, and then we give it a set of rules for the design. So the color is white, and that's going to refer to the color of the text right here. And then the font family is going to be in there. And right now, this isn't doing anything. And we're going to fix that in just a second. And then you'll see I've got this section for temporary things, and that's going to be this spacey background, which ironically is a Samsung background. It's telling it how high and how wide the background is, not to repeat the contents, and to contain that photo. None of that stuff is going to be in the final design of what we have going, but it's in it right now for the time being. So the first thing when you're working with CSS is that you want to start with your fonts. So there's a lot of fonts out there that are installed by default on people's machines and on your mobile devices and things like that. In this instance, I'm using a custom one. I just Googled it and found it on Google Fonts and downloaded it. But it's not installed on most machines. So what we're going to do is we're going to tell the CSS how to display that font right here. And the way we do that is first by typing @font face, and then you're going to do an open curly bracket, and Sublime Text should auto-populate a closed curly bracket. Then hit return, and we're going to say font-family, and this one is going to be, in quotes, you're going to write Yellowtail. I'm going to capitalize that. And then in CSS, CSS has kind of like a period of sorts. So when you're done with a line, you want to put a semicolon at the end to tell it that that is the end of the line. Otherwise, it won't know that that's the end of a rule, and it won't know how to read the rest of the stuff. Oh, thanks, Mitchell.
Hi, Mitch.
All right, so there's Jamie. So next is going to be, we're going to do the source, and the source, colon, we're going to give it a URL, and this URL is relative to the folder that everything is living in. So over here you can see that I've got a folder right here for font. So first what we're going to do is we're going to tell it to look in the font folder, and then we're going to tell it which file to look at. And this one is yellowtail-regular.otf. I'm going to put that in quotes, and don't forget the semicolon at the end. So that's it. So now this thing knows how to read the Yellowtail font, which we don't have anything in Yellowtail right now. So don't worry about that. And then we're going to do another one. It's going to be another font face. The font family for this one is going to be called, I don't know how to say it, Montserrat, I don't know. It's that one though. Montserrat, yeah. We're going to have two different kinds of Montserrat in here, and one of them is going to be bold, and one of them is going to be a lighter one. So I think it's an ultra light. So we're going to tell it that this one, font-weight, is 300, which is just a totally arbitrary number, I think. I don't know if there's any rhyme or reason, but it goes from 100 to 900 of the different font weights. This particular one happens to be 300. And then we're also going to tell it that the font style is lighter. And that way we can, it's an easier syntax to access it later. And then just like the one above it, we're going to use source, colon, we're going to give it the URL in parentheses and quotation marks within the font folder. And this one, if you look over here, it's going to be this guy right here. So that one is going to be called Montserrat-Ultra Light.otf. And this one, these are all case sensitive, so make sure that you are putting in all the capitals where capitals need to be, so on and so forth. Alright, and now since we're doing another Montserrat font, what I'm going to do is just copy that block, give it a space, put it in there, and I'm going to change the font weights. So the font weight on this one is going to be 700. Font style is going to be bolder. And then we're going to change this to bold, because that's what the file name is called. Mitchell, if you're still in here, can you please give Jamie something to do? Because I think she's getting bored over here. If any of you guys have questions, ask Jamie. She's sitting here with me. Say hello again.
Hi.
Alright.
Someone makes a comment, I'll do an interpretive dance.
Ooh. That's an incentive. You guys want to see interpretive dance, you should check that out. Alright, so I saved my CSS and refreshed the page, and now you can see this is the Montserrat font. and it's pulling that from the body, which remember is all of the HTML that we can see right here. And what I did here, this is a fallback in the stack. And what that means is that if for whatever reason it can't find this font, it's going to do a sans serif font, which is basically just like an Arial or like a Helvetica style font as opposed to like a Times New Roman or something like that. So that's what that is. And the next thing that we're going to do, this helps a lot when you're designing stuff. Okay, cool. Yeah, new to code wants an interpretive dance. Let's do it. Yeah, no, you said you were going to do it. It's time for you to dance, girl. All right, here. Let me switch this up a bit. Do an interpretive dance. New to code wants to see you dance. Come on. There she is. Oh, yeah, we're really getting somewhere now. There you go. New to code, I hope that made your night. All right, sweet. So back into it. Oh yeah, she's a professional golfer for somewhere. Everything good so far? Everybody following along? No questions, nothing like that? I assume that you'll ask us if you do. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is kind of, this is not going to be present in the final design, but it's going to help us lay the design out. So what we're going to do is we're going to target all of the divisions inside the body of our code here. And the way that we're going to do that is we're going to type body, and then we're going to give it a space, and we're going to type div. And then just like all of this other CSS stuff, we're going to go ahead and open curly brace and close one. Super cool. And everything we want to tell it how to display it a certain way so that it all lines up properly. And so we're going to type display, and then inline dash block. Screen recording this. Oh yeah, I get it, Mitchell. That's what's up. Well, don't think we won't return the favor. Okay, so the other thing that we want to do is all of the divisions inside the body. We're going to tell CSS how to display their position, and it's all going to be relative to each other. So do that.
Increase the font and scale.
Increase the font. You got it.
Come on.
How's that? I guess you probably can't see it yet. Sorry, I've seen David teach enough times that I should know that I need to get size 95 font in here for everyone to see it. All right, cool. So what we're going to do so we can align everything the way that we want it to be aligned is we're going to put a box around all of this stuff. And the way that we do that is with the border property. And then we're going to type in a couple things here, and it's going to put them all together. This is a shorthand for the border property. But we're going to tell it how to draw the line, and it's going to be a solid line. I'm going to tell it how thick it is, and we'll just say 1 pixel, and we'll tell it what color it is, and we'll say red. So we'll save that, refresh the page over here, and there you go. Everything changed to an inline block. We have a red box around everything now, and life is good. And I'm gonna see, nope, don't want that. I want to make this bigger so that you guys can see what's going on in there too. I think I have to turn this off to do that. There. Alright, cool. And one other thing I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to turn on live style. Live style is a really cool tweak that just allows you to make changes either in Chrome or in Sublime over here, and it will copy the changes back and forth, so you don't have to do the save and refresh kind of thing. They've got an extension over here that you can install for Google Chrome, and that's why we use that. All right, so next up, just kind of moving down the line, we're going to position the wrapper. And I know this part's moving kind of slowly, but just bear with me here. So I'm putting a pound sign in front of the wrapper because we are selecting, this means select the div with the ID of wrapper. So if you remember back in the HTML, we go to div ID right here, and then we have this one with the ID of wrapper. So that's where this comes from. And this one, we're going to say position is absolute, and we're going to give it a width, not a widow's, a width of 230 pixels. What's going on over here? Width of 230 pixels. We're going to give a height of, what is it, 150, something like that. There you go. And hopefully now you can see where the box comes in handy, because if we didn't have the box, we would be able to see what's actually happening over here. This is about how big we want our final product to be. We're going to do, let's see, I'm going to put a transform property in here. This will come into play later, but transform, we're going to say scale, and inside the parentheses, we're going to put 1.0. And that's basically just telling it to render at its full resolution. Also in here, I guess we'll come back to that part in just a second. So we're done with wrapper for now. Now we're going to start getting into the time stuff. So the first thing that we have to render in time is the ID hour. Whoa, don't do that. The ID hour. And what we're going to do is we're going to say, we're going to do a margin left. The margin left is going to be about 50 pixels. And if you look over here, you can see that that just pushed it over. Nice thing about this is in Chrome, if you want, you can find that element by clicking up here. You can see there's that division with the ID of hour. It'll show you all the properties right here. You can actually just arrow up and down and move it around however you want. With the lifestyle tweak, it's actually going to make that change over here in Sublime as well. Super cool. Alright, so we're going to bump it over a little bit. And we're going to give this a border, but only on the right-hand side. Because if you look at our mock-up, where do I have that? Not in there. Here we go. So basically what we're doing, we've moved it over a little bit. We're going to move it down in just a second. And we're going to give it this line on the side. What's going on? You gotta tell me what people are saying.
No one's saying anything. No one wants to comment.
I know.
Maybe the next thing is the yoga pose of the
all
day.
All of our 4 viewers. Hey, how's it going, Connor?
Hey.
Want to say hello to Twitch? We're doing a Twitch
Next
stream
comment
right now.
gets the yoga pose of the day.
All right. Okay, so adding a border to the side of this. So what we're going to do is say border, just like we did with the red lines up there, but we don't want a border around the entire thing, so we're going to do dash right. Cool, and we're going to use that same shorthand. It's going to be a solid line. It's going to be 1 pixel wide, and the color is going to be white. And not solid. There we go. So now you can see, it might be a little small up here, but you can see, of course, hitting all the wrong stuff. You can see that the red border just changed to a white one. Alright. Also in the hour, we're going to give it our bold font weight. So font dash weight, bold, don't forget your semicolons. And now it's starting to take shape a little bit. Let's Let's move on to the minute. So same thing, yeah, the division with the ID of minute. And this one, there's not a lot to it. The only thing that we're going to change about that is the font weight. So the font weight, we're going to change to 300, which remember was defined up here at the @font face property. And that's it. That's all we're going to do. Hey, 7 viewers! Say hello. Say hello to us. We're so lonely here in Twitch land. It's our first time, and we need you to be gentle.
They're being pretty gentle. There's no comments.
All right, good, good. Well, okay, don't be that gentle. You guys should comment. Do something. Okay, cool. So that's it. That's all we have for the minute. The next thing that we're going to do, this is where it starts to get fun here, is we're going to target Thursday right there. So Thursday, this was the div with the ID of weekday. Jamie's taking pictures. And inside weekday, we're going to do font family. And this one, in quotes, is going to be yellowtail. Ooh, look at that.
Wow.
Cursive. Oh yeah, and don't forget to give it the fallback, cursive. Just in case it doesn't render right. Okay, and if you look at our, man, I really should just leave that image pulled up here. There we go. Image. Now I'm actually, you know what, I'm going to take this opportunity to save everything. I'm going to push it up to GitHub. Jamie's going to post a link in the comment right now, so if you are just joining us, as I'm sure at least 3 of you are, you can go to this GitHub page and download the code as we have it up to this point. So if you want to follow along with us, you can. Perfect. So it should be up there. By the time you guys see this with a slight delay, it should be up there. So go ahead and go download that little zip file, and then jump in if you want.
They don't copy. I copied this the thing like once and doubles.
I don't know. Ignore Jamie's double comments. They're
I
twice
just love
as good.
commenting. I have to comment. No one else is commenting.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. Okay, we said that at the same time.
Yeah, we're adorable.
Yeah.
Okay. So, one of the cool things about this part is that we're going to rotate it. No, I'm not going to bake a cake. You should bake a cake. Jamie's going to bake a cake on the next stream. So in the weekday, so what we're going to do, we've got this. What we need to do is take this Thursday, going straight across, and give it a little flare. Pow, like that. And you do that with the transform property. This is CSS 3, so it's experimental in some of them. Shut up, Mitchell. You know you're the only one for me.
That's not.
Alright, transform, rotate, and then we're going to do -14 deg, short for degrees. Cool. And then right now I'm just gonna give it a couple of these. I'm gonna do top and right, and these are gonna help us position it. I'm just gonna put in an arbitrary value right now, 10 pixels for each, and then we'll go. Yeah, Ian, are you here? Ian should be in here.
Hi, Ian.
Anyway, Ian, I hope you're watching this since this is your brainchild.
Where is brainchild? Children.
Brainchild. Okay, anyway, I'm putting in top and right. These are these tell it where to put that text, and we're not really in a place right now where we're ready to design that. So right now we're just gonna let it sit there, and then we'll come back in just a second. And then we're gonna do date. So the date in terms of what we're working on here is going to be March and 31 right there. And I forgot to put the £sign in front of that. Use the color coding in Sublime. If you're doing something wrong, it's going to tell you. Alright, and this one we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to give it kind of some arbitrary values for the top and right. And we're going to come back to that in just a second. Now what we're going to do is, you can probably tell this does not look like this yet. So we're going to add some classes. And classes, instead of using the pound sign, we're going to use a period. And one of them is going to be large. Large, like that. And we're going to change the font size. And basically, we're gonna target a couple things with this selector, with large, and it's going to take anything that we put in that category and make it bigger. We're also going to have a tint category. So tint, let me get some space to see this stuff. Sorry, font size, I'm putting 4EM. And EM is for M, and it describes the width and height of a lowercase m on any given screen. There's a lot of stuff about that. If you want to read into it, feel free. Okay, so the last thing is going to be tint, and we're going to say the tint color is orange for now. Here we go. So now, the last thing that we're going to do is we're going to go add this large and this tint class to some of the stuff in our HTML. And the stuff that we want to be large, we're just going to say class equals large. And right now, what we want that to be in is hour and minute. So I'm going to hold down the command key while I click on the very end, right in between the quotation mark and that end bracket. I'm going to click on both of those. I'm going to have two cursors. I'm going to type the exact same thing in each of those. So class equals large. Large is in quotations there. And we're going to add the tint to our weekday. So now in div ID equals weekday, we're going to say space class equals tint, and we're going to make that one large too. So just put a space in there and type in large. And that way we're going to get both the properties of tint and large in there. So I'm going to save. I'm going to come back over here and refresh, and look at that. That's starting to look more like a clock. Pretty cool. So the colors are bothering Jamie. So, okay. Our colors aren't tasteful enough right now, so what we're going to do is we're going to tone it back just a little bit. And yeah, well, the orange was just a default value. What I have in mind is kind of this more like muted yellow color. I like that one a lot, so what I'm going to do is, I'm not being difficult. I'm going to come in here and click Thursday, and with the web inspector open, which if you missed it was Command-Option-I in Chrome. With the web inspector open, I'm going to click on this, find tint, see the color, and it says orange, and then right here it says open color picker. So I'm going to click there, and now Google gives me this sweet little text picker, and I can get a more suitable, less tacky color that doesn't offend Jamie's sensibilities. Okay, cool. So I'm glad you liked it, Mitchell. Okay, so now we've got all of this stuff ready to go. Now all we need to do is modify the positions of these because they look a little funky. So here's how we'll do it. I'm going to go to the style.css, and I'm going to start at the...
Mitch says it's a glorious color, but it doesn't go with your background.
Well, the background is just so you can see what's happening, man. Just calm down.
I'm sorry, I just have to be difficult. That's what I'm here
yeah,
for.
I know, I noticed.
I didn't entertain.
Yeah. Okay, so date, I'm going to put at 0, and then we're going to move it over a bit. There we go. Date. And I'm just going to click in here and start shifting stuff. I don't think that's right. It's going to be there eventually. It's just not what I want. Alright, so that hour. Let's move this. Okay, that's. Date. I'm going to move that actually. It's going to go 75. And the reason this stuff looks really jacked up right now is because I did all of this stuff earlier, so I'm just going to put in all the values. But a lot of this part is just kind of like playing around with it until you're happy with the way that it looks. I didn't put in right. There's no right property. I meant to put in left. Thanks for catching that one, Mitchell. Yeah, I know he didn't catch it because he didn't say anything about it.
He has comments about everything else.
Well, at least he's commenting. Alright, top 35 pixels, let's put in there. Alright, what else do I have here? Let's see. Whoa, nope. What is that? No.
Gonna be like your comments, Mitch.
Heck yes, I'm commenting. Okay, I'm really curious. There are 6 people in this room. One of them is Jamie. One of them might be me. One of them is Mitchell. Who are the rest of you guys? Can you just like say hey real quick, just so we know what you're about?
I know new to codes watching.
Yeah, new to code, crushing it, man. Thank you for being here. I'm pretty sure I've seen you in the iOS themes subreddit, so thanks for coming over. And let's see here. What's going on now? Do you want to do another dance?
Who wants to see another dance?
Yeah, put some goofy memes and stuff in there if you want to see Jamie dance. Now I'm going to figure out why this stuff is still broken.
Why did you break it?
I didn't mean to break it.
Okay.
It was an accident.
Okay.
There we go. That basically looks better. Well, go ahead, do your dance.
Nobody commented. There's no
Guys, are you serious? What now? There we go. Some dank memes, Mitchell.
Need one more.
What do you mean we need one more?
One more comment and I'll dance.
New to code, do it. Alright, what's missing here? No, they can't see you. You're not on camera. You need to do that over here. Hold on, stand by, guys. Wait, there it is. That's the stuff. Good job. Oh, what? Oh, that's kind of messed up again. There we go. Okay, there we go. So that's pretty much it, I think. The only thing that I did to fix that was I removed the, what did I remove? Under the hour selector here, I had margin left at 50 pixels. And I did that. I didn't want to do that, I just wanted it at 0. Just like that. So, like 300. This doesn't look like the right thing. I think it is. Okay, so that's that. So there's the design of everything, and now you have a clock that is always midnight and 24-hour time and always has AM. So now we're gonna start with the we're gonna start with JavaScript, and the JavaScript. This is nice because once you write the JavaScript for one clock, you can basically just use that over and over and over again. That's what I do. So I'm going to do one more push to GitHub. Cool. Jam me with the link if you haven't been here for that long. Cool. Now this part, this JavaScript part, I'm going to move pretty quickly here, but I think it's going to make a lot of sense for you guys. Just because this is basically explaining to a computer how a clock works. And in order to do that, we need to tell it that this is basically a verb. So we're going to type in the keyword function, and we're going to tell it the name. The name is going to be start time.
That's creative.
I know it. I'm going to put open and close parentheses right there,
Like 10 seconds.
and then an open bracket. And all of our stuff is going to go in between these things. So our function called start time, first we need to set a couple things, and these are going to be basically settings, and we're going to declare those with the var keyword. And var stands for variable. So these are values that can change. And the first one that we're going to set is called 12 hour. And 12 hour is basically a true or false value. We're going to put on false right now. And it's whether or not you want 24-hour time, like someone who's super cool, or you want 12-hour time, like someone who hasn't figured it out yet. So,
Ouch.
I know, I feel very strongly about it. So, that's it, and then the next variable that we're going to declare basically is a setting.
You did get that time.
Oh, I'm going to. This one is going to be called scale. And we're declaring this one, basically in case somebody doesn't want this size clock, you can change the value that we're going to put in scale to make this bigger or smaller. So inside scale, you're going to put this in quotes. You're going to type in scale and open parentheses 1.0. Close the parentheses there, and then outside of the quotation mark, put a semicolon. This JavaScript works the same way, where the semicolon is kind of like the period at the end. I'm going to put in a comment here that says, do not modify anything below this line. That way, if you decide to distribute this for whatever reason, and somebody goes and starts messing with the JavaScript, they know that these are the only
GitHub
things
is
that
not updating.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Mitchell. Hold on, let's see what's going on. It says it's good to go. The last commit was called CSS done.
What's it called?
CSS done. Let me know if that works or not. Okay. So these variables right here, like I said, are settings. Now we're going to start making some variables, which are just placeholders, basically, for all of the different components of our clock. Cool. So one of them, we're going to say var today, and today is going to be an instance of a new date. And we're going to put open close parentheses and a semicolon after that. This is telling JavaScript that we want it to basically ping out to the internet, see what day it is in the current time zone that it receives the request from, and then return a bunch of stuff. And now we need to make placeholders for all of the stuff that it returns. So we're going to make a variable for the hour called hour, and we're going to say equals today. So today has all of this stuff in it, and what we're doing is separating out the components. And we do that by putting a period in there. It's like going a level down in the folder. So hour is today dot get hours. And that is in camel case, which means start lowercase and every new word gets a capitalized letter at the beginning. Open and close parentheses again and semicolon at the end. And we're going to basically just follow that for a little while. We're going to make another one for minutes. Var minute equals today dot get minute, again in camel case with the open close parentheses and a semicolon at the end. Now we're going to make a placeholder. So here, while we do this, we're going to make a placeholder for the meridian right here, this little AM PM bit. So var meridian equals, and right now we're just going to put 2 quotes there. We don't want it to be anything at the moment. We're going to tell it to do that later. And then, what's going on? We're good? Okay, cool. Let me know. We're going to do var day names. And the day names is going to be a list of day names. And these are going to be days of the week. So I'm going to say equals new array. And an array is going to be our list. And I'm going to open this parentheses. It's going to auto-close it for me, but I'm going to hit return. And this is purely for formatting purposes. If you want, you can put it on the same line. But in quotations now, I'm just going to start listing out the days of the week with a comma at the end of each line. So Sunday is Monday, comma, Tuesday. Pretty sure you guys know how to do all this stuff. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Oops, gotta put that in quotes.
Do you have to start on Sunday?
Yes. Yes. Jamie brings up a good point, which is, do you have to start on Sunday? And the answer is yes, you do have to start on Sunday. And the reason for that is because when JavaScript reaches out to get this date thing, and it brings down all of the components, it basically assigns a number for each day of the week, starting at 0. And it knows that 0 is Sunday. So you do have to start at Sunday, you do have to end on Saturday, and you do have to put a semicolon after that. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do is make a variable for the weekday. So var weekday, and we're going to tell it, and this is why it's important that you do it in that order. We're going to say it's day names, and then you're going to put open and close square brackets. You're going to say today dot get day, open and close parentheses, and then semicolon at the end. So what this does is we're accessing our list of day names right here, and then it expects a number right here. So if we wanted, we could put 0. And 0 means it's going to return the first object in the list. All lists start at 0. So it's saying at the 0 position in day names, just put whatever that is right here in this variable called weekday. So in this instance, it's Sunday. What we're doing instead of putting an actual number in there is we're just telling it that we want to pull in the number that we accessed up here in our today variable. And so that is going to be, weekday is going to actually give us a human readable word for what happens here. Alright, moving on, we got var date. And the date is going to be the number of the day of the month right here. So var date equals today dot get date, open and close the parentheses, end it with a semicolon. And now what we're going to do, just like we did up here with var day names, to get all the days of the week, we're going to make another one. It's going to have 12 items in it, and it's going to be all of the months. So I'm going to call this one var month array. And that's going to be equals new array. We're going to open the semicolon. We're going to give it some space to breathe in there, and then we're going to just start listing them off. And this one has to start at January. January, February. I already see that I forgot a comma. March, April, May, June, July, August, September. Man, this is boring. How many people are in here right now?
5.
Thanks, guys. This is not a fun part to watch me just type out all the months. Does anybody have questions at this point? There hasn't been a single question yet. I just keep waiting for it.
Rachel said such months.
Such months, man. I know it. So there we go. There they are, and just like we did.
Do you have to capitalize the months too?
You don't have to capitalize the months. Like I think in the one that I made earlier for this example, I left them all as lowercase, just because I don't know, it's like a hipstery kind of thing to do, and it seemed like a good idea at the time. I ended up capitalizing them here just because I think we might release this one and people will appreciate the capitalization.
More probably.
Yeah. Okay, so now, just like we did up here with var day names, and we took an item from that list and stored it in weekday, we're going to do that right here. So var month equals, we're going to access the month array, and in the square brackets, we're going to tell it which one. Instead of putting a literal number in there, we're going to say today dot get month. Semicolon after all of that. Really cool. So that's basically it for the calendar. Now, this next section, I'm going to insert a comment, 2 forward slashes. This is all formatting stuff. So this is all good and well, but the problem is JavaScript returns everything in 24-hour time, and a lot of people don't use 24-hour time, and we have to take that into consideration. So I'm going to set up some rules and just tell it how to handle that right now with a bunch of different if statements. And the way that an if statement works is you type if, and then you put something in parentheses right here. And it's basically testing for a true or false value. If something is true, then what do I do? And if not, then it just ignores it. So for example, JavaScript will return the minute as a single digit. So if, say, it's, for example, it just passed 8:09, well, it would return 8 and 9, not 8:09. So what we have to do is tell it that we need to put a 0 in there. So we're going to say if minute is less than 10, and then on the outside of your parentheses, what you're going to do is do some curly braces, and inside the curly braces, we're going to say, we're going to take minute and set it equal to, in quotes, 0 plus what minute actually got. and that will get us what we need to do. And that's basically it. It's going to be some weird stuff like that for the rest of this. So the next one is going to be if 12 hour, which if you remember 12 hours right up here, it's a true or false value telling us whether or not we want it to be 24-hour time or 12-hour time. I forgot to put that in parentheses. So if 12 hour is true, it's saying, and I'm going to put 2 ampersands, and that means if 12 hours is true and something else, I'm going to say in the hour is less than, or greater than or equal to 12, then what do we want to do? Open it and close it with curly braces, and we're going to say that meridium is, in quotes, PM, and not just semicolon. So if we are in 12-hour time and the hour is greater than or equal to noon, then put PM at the end of our time. That's basically all that says. And then we're going to do the other one of those. So if we're in 12-hour time and the hour is less than 12, space in there for readability, what do we do? The meridian is equal to AM. So put that at the end of our time. Alright, and then if you guys were in 24-hour time, which you probably should be and you don't know it, but you're not, that would be it. But now we gotta do some stuff for 12-hour time. So 12-hour time. I just think I really think it's something that people should consider. I used to hate on it so hard, and I told myself I was going to try it for a week, and I never went back. Alright, so here we go. For all you 12-hour people out there, we're going to say if 12 hours is true, and the hour, and we're going to say triple equals. Triple equals means is exactly 0. So we're talking about the midnight hour right now. So 12 hours true, and the hour is 0. What do we want to do? We want to take hour, which is our variable up here, and we actually want to set that hour. We want to change that value. We want hour to be 12. Semicolon. That's that. There's another rule in there, and what we have to do is say that if it's past noon, we also have to subtract 12 from the current time, because for some reason that was a good idea. So if 12 hours is true, and again, we're doing this because we're testing for the user's preference on 12-hour, 24-hour time. So if the clock is in 12-hour time, if that condition is true, so I'm going to say just if 12 hour, actually, I guess that's it. So if 12 hours is true, then the hour equals the hour, and you're going to do the division sign in 12. And this is modulo. And modulo basically means you take the remainder of whatever this is minus this. And so that will inevitably give you the correct time. Okay, and actually, you know what? I lied. After all of that trash talk, there is one more thing that you have to do if you're in 24-hour time. And it's just to add a leading 0 at the beginning of the midnight hour. So I'm sorry. So the last thing that we're going to do is our last if statement. We're going to say if exclamation point 12 hour. And exclamation point means not. So this is saying if we're not in 12-hour time, we're in 24-hour time. And the hour is less than 10. What do? Open and close the curly braces. We want the hour, this is basically the same as the minute. We want hour to be 0 first, and then add the actual hour on top of it. Oh man, freaking semicolons, man. Okay, cool. That's it. This is a working clock now. The only thing that we have left to do is tell it where to put all of this data. And that is all going to be with this string. I recommend that you copy and paste it after we type it the first time. I'm going to make a comment and say this is assignment statements. And I'm going to do another push.
Mitch says remember your semicolons.
Thanks, Mitchell. Yeah, I got it, man. We've been writing in Swift a lot, and Swift doesn't need semicolons, and it feels spoiled. Okay, so I am pushing up to that GitHub repo. You want to repost the link just in case we have some new people here. I don't think that we do. But just for all you guys out there, all of my adoring fans.
What are they posted on?
I think I said JS push, or like first JS push, something like that. I'm not sure. Okay, questions up to this point, please post them in the comments. If I'm going too fast or too slow or whatever, post that in there too. Otherwise, we're just going to push through this thing and get it done. Okay, so here's the line. You're going to type in document, and what this is doing is it's saying, go to the HTML that you're attached to. And we're going to get element by ID.
Mitch says he's your adoring fan.
Thanks, buddy.
That's so cute.
All
You
right.
have one fan.
I know, I'm so happy. Alright, so document dot get element by ID. Capitalize the beginning of every word after get, which is lowercase. Throw some quotes in the middle of the parentheses right there, and ignore that part for now. But after the parentheses, type dot inner, and then all caps HTML equals blank, and then put your semicolon in there just for giggles. Copy that statement, and we'll start to fill this out. So the first one is going to be hour. So this is saying take the stuff in hour, and this is, by the way, this is hour in the HTML file. So that's over here, right here, right in the middle of that div. And change the inner HTML stuff to, and now we want to point it to the variable that's holding all of these values. So we're going to say hour again. We conveniently named them so that they're all the same name. But that's it. We're going to do the same thing for minute, AM, PM, the weekday, the day, the month, and then we're going to add one extra line down here at the bottom for something else, and that's the scale that I was talking about earlier. Don't worry about that right now. Okay, so this one's going to be minute, and this is going to be minute. I think we called it AM-PM in the HTML, and in the JavaScript we called it meridian. The next one down is going to be weekday, weekday, and then the next one down is going to be day. We have to do day. And day, I think we actually called date. And then month. And the month is going to be month. So there we go. I'm going to save that. I'm going to refresh the page over here. I was going to refresh the page over here. Oops, oops, oops. Oh, I know what I forgot.
Another semicolon?
No, it's not a semicolon.
Just check.
We
Seems
need
to be complicated.
Yeah, I know. What we need to do is tell the HTML to run that function. So whenever you guys are finished, come back over here to the HTML and go to body, and we're going to type space and then on load, all lowercase. And it's going to ask us, if you hit enter, it's going to auto-populate with equals and then some quotation marks. Inside that, we're going to type start time and then open and close parentheses. So that's saying as soon as you load up the page, go ahead and run through this JavaScript, this set of instructions, and populate all those values. What did I screw up now? It says get minute is not a function. Oh, it's get minutes. Get minutes. Okay, let's try again. There we go. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? So again, the changes that we just made here, in the HTML and widget.html, we're going to say body onload equals start time, and then open and close parentheses. That tells you that it's basically a computer verb. And then in main.js, var minute, this is line number 9, is today.getMinutes, plural. And now, it actually is working. There's only one more line that we need to add, because right now it's only running this function when you reload the page. And that's not how clocks work. Clocks work because they update all the time. So there's one more built-in function here. You don't really need to understand how it works, but it's going to be set timeout, open and close parentheses. We're going to say function, also open and close parentheses on the inside there.
This is back on your JavaScript page.
This is back on JavaScript, yes, in main.js. So we've got set timeout, open parentheses, the word function, open and close parentheses, and then a curly brace. I feel like I gotta give you guys some room to see this stuff. It's like all at the bottom of the page. Open curly brace, and then inside that we're going to say start time, open and close parentheses, you guessed it, with a semicolon, super dope. And then on the next line here, you got your closed curly bracket. You're going to put a comma in there and tell it how often in milliseconds you want it to run that code. For me, 500 milliseconds, which is half of 1 second, is plenty accurate. I don't need a watch or a lock screen that's, accurate down to the microsecond or anything. And then you're going to end it. That is the final semicolon. We're going to save it. Come over here and refresh the page. And voila, there it is. There's the clock. And now it is working. And everything is done. I'm going to make one final adjustment to style.css because it seems to be a little bit funky right now just with the alignment. So I'm going to take our, and I am going to add a little bit of a margin in there, but not a lot.
How did you get to that?
Just like right there.
To style it?
Oh, so this is in Chrome, in the web inspector. Command Option I will pull up that little panel on the side and allow you to change things and tweak around with them. I've got an extension installed right now called LiveStyle that's automatically updating things, but what you're going to want to do if you don't have LiveStyle installed is click around on the option that you want. If it's not actually highlighting anything when you click it, this is the icon that you're looking for right here. You're going to choose the option that you want, and then you can edit its properties right here. And so what I've done now is I've just changed margin left from 0 pixels to 30 pixels. And what you'll do is you'll go into the Sublime text page, change that from 0 to 30, Command S to save or Control S on the PC, refresh the page, and there you go. That's it. And there you have it. That's your working clock. It's going to update every half second. I'm going to push it, and I've included in the folder, let me find that folder. I know I have it somewhere. There it is. So in this folder that's on the GitHub repo, inside the twitch.001 folder, there's another file called widget.plist. If this is something that you're trying to put on your device, you'll need this. This describes to your tweak, be it like lock HTML or Groovy lock or something, how big the widget is. You need that in there. It has to be called widget.plist. And if you're getting weird cropping issues for some reason, you can just edit this with Sublime Text or with TextEdit or iFile on your mobile device and just make this number or this number width and height bigger. And that will solve your problems. Last step is just to comment out the background right here. Otherwise, you're going to see this space background on your device. So in order to do that, you can just delete the wallpaper image out of there, or you can come into the CSS and delete everything underneath temporary things right there. And that'll do it. So I think it's probably only just one person in here, right, new to code, who's going to be putting this on a device. Are you still with us over there, dude? 45-second lag. All right. Well, if you are with us, I included CyberDuck in there, which is a great SSH client that you can use to put this straight onto your phone. I'm assuming you probably know how to do SSH since you're in there. If not, there's lots of help. You can message me and I'll help you with it later if that's what you're looking into. But yeah, that's basically it. So I think we're done unless anybody has any questions they want to shout out there.
Neutral just says lag.
Lag. Yeah, I think we figure it's probably about 45 seconds or something.
Yeah, it's about 45.
All right, well that's it. I think we're gonna call this one quits unless anybody has questions.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.